Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. I guess it's just us.
Oh,
That's
look at that.
what the
Look at
heck.
me.
Woohoo! Oh,
So,
Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. And then I had a friend in Singapore going to join us, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning for him, so we'll find out if he. Kurt, did you stay up? We don't know. Okay, let's do share screen. Okay, and I want this one. Great. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Great. Welcome to Tarot Webinar Mysteries of the Tarot, The Fool Through the Emperor. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Hey.
Okay. And I'm going to we'll see how long it takes. I don't know if I'm going to be short or long, but we'll work with it. So feel free to ask questions as you go along. I'm going to try to do a brief summation of each one, the basic symbols. You can get crazy with all these symbols. You can do a year on the Fool if you want, with the little different interpretations that people do. But I'm going to give you some of the basics and, talk about the Fool's journey, and how the fundamentals are working. And we're just going to we'll do 5 cards, see how it goes. Next time we'll do more or less or whatever. Okay, great. Okay, so this is us. Okay. All right. This is a little bit of a recap. Andrea, I think you're new, but Andrea, I think you already got Tarot 101 though, right?
I did, but I didn't finish it yet, but I did just take a tarot class a few months ago.
Oh, good. So you know some of the basics. Great.
Yeah,
I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff we did in 101, okay, just to make it make sense because we go on. Okay. We're going to start with the Fool, obviously. Okay. This is the Major Arcana, and you guys know this if you know the basics. Major Arcana, Minor Arcana is the 56 cards. Major Arcana is the 22. The fundamental is the Fool is beginning his journey through the Major Arcana cards. It's really a super cool journey. It's his life journey. We're going to do the first 4 cards here today, but he's going to visit each of these entities or people as he moves through the Major Arcana and learns his lesson. He needs each one in succession as he moves through visiting everybody, having his problems, having his delights, having his good things. He finally gets to the World card. When he does, he's learned all his lessons. He probably dies and gets reincarnated and goes back to the beginning. It's like I always say, it's like if you learned all your lessons, people say, well, I'm learning my lessons. I want to learn all my lessons. And I'm like, once you learn all your lessons, they'll probably hit you with a truck. Okay. Because you don't need to be here anymore. So the Fool, we're all on the Fool's journey. Okay. So actually, I always consider the World card a really cool card, but it's probably more of a death or a transition card than death is, really, because you're really you're finishing up. It's a completion card, and then you're going back to the beginning. So we're going to start with the Fool, and I know we went over the Fool last time, but now we're going to go over a little more of the symbolism that's on the card. Like I said, you could go on until you hang yourself with all the symbolism. First we look and we see that it's a white sun, okay? It isn't the sun that we see in the sky, the nice yellow sun that we see every day. It's white. This is kind of telling us that this is a spiritual journey. Okay, it's not a journey on the earth. It's like this guy's otherworldly. He's doing something else. Okay, he's on another planet. He's on another dimension, working spiritually. And it's white like a tabula rasa, blank slate. Okay, and the sun is just shining down on him. Everybody always focuses on his pouch. Okay, and they're like, wow, what's in the pouch? And a lot of people say, oh, his tools are in there. I kind of don't see how he could have his tools in there because he hasn't visited the magician yet. He hasn't visited anybody to pick up any tools. He's a blank slate. He has very, very little. Okay. He has very little knowledge. He has very little anything. So I think it's empty. Some people think he already has his tools in there. Okay. The staff that he has, now that's open to interpretation. It could be his magic wand, but if it is, he doesn't know how to use it yet because he's hanging his laundry on it. He doesn't know what to do with it. He's got it over his shoulder. It's like, aren't you supposed to wield it? No, he's just, whatever. So I like that idea that it might be his wand that he doesn't know how to use yet. Okay. So then we see this beautiful tunic he has on. Also, you kind of notice he's not very masculine, and he's kind of feminine. He might not have decided yet quite what kind of role he wants to play on the earth. So he does seem kind of like, fancy boy. He's not like a big macho guy or anything. So he may not have decided yet. And at first you look at this pretty tunic he's wearing and you think it's flowers, and it does have flowery elements to it. But the circles are really the 10 circles of the Kabbalah, the Jewish Kabbalah, which once you do when you do the Kabbalah thing, okay, you've probably seen that. I know you've seen the Kabbalah somewhere. It's the structure. It's really to bring the spiritual knowledge through different phases down to earth. Okay, each one finally getting down. Like it's the Christ consciousness also. It's a Christ consciousness. It's bringing the spiritual down to earth. And he has the 10 circles of the Kabbalah on his tunic, giving us a big clue about what he's up to. Okay, he wants to become enlightened. Okay, and that's his idea. The white flower, it means the best is yet to come. So even if he jumps off the cliff, he's going to, there's something better on the other side. We don't know what yet, but that's what it is. And you see in the backgrounds are vast possibilities. These could be Arctic ice caps. You see a little tiny house over here. There's huge possibilities of where he's going to end up once he jumps off this cliff. We don't know, and he doesn't either. But it's like the possibilities are endless. And again, it's the 0 card. There's just nothing, no preconceptions, nothing. There's even, I was noticing the other day, I was watching, I haven't watched that movie in a while, but I saw it advertised or something. Scott Pilgrim Saves the World or whatever. And that character always has a 0 on him. And he is and his name is Pilgrim, and he's working through, he has to fight evil exes of his ex-girlfriend or something. And there's different stages of his life he goes through. But I'm always thinking, I wonder if I'm going to have to look at that movie more carefully to see if he's supposed to be the fool or the pilgrim or the fool. Okay. And you see his little dog yapping at him. And this is up for debate also. Some people think he's warning him. Look out, don't go off the cliff. You're crazy. Okay. And other people think he's just along for the ride and he's going to follow his master right over the cliff. So that's up to you, whatever you want to think. But regardless, a dog is always a symbol of fidelity. When you see that in the old paintings from maybe the French Revolution, they always have, if it's a family portrait, they also put a dog there, whether they have a dog or not, because it shows that you're faithful to each other. So a lot of dogs are named Fido or Fidelity. So you know that he has a faithful friend here, and he might very well be just going off that cliff. Okay, make sense? Great. Okay. All right, now what else should I'm going to just reiterate what I told you about Indiana Jones, and this is a great example. I know I told you, I don't know how far you've gotten in the 101, but this is Indy in the Last Crusade. He's at the edge of the cliff. He has his book that his father gave him that says, you must take the leap of faith. He's trying to get the Holy Grail, which is the thing that's going to allow you to make miracles. Okay. And the Fool is also a card that allows you to make miracles. Okay. It's the only way you can make miracles, things that are seemingly impossible in your brain. And he looks at the book and says, oh my God, you have to take the leap of faith. No, I know. All I know is I'm going to die. 5,000 feet to my death. And I have to get to the Holy Grail. It's right over there, but I can't. The only way to do is to jump. I don't know. And finally, he's like really worried about it. And he's like, oh my God. I know all I'm going to do. I have no faith. We were just discussing this with my father that I don't have any faith. And he says, okay, finally, he goes, you must take the leap of faith. So he takes the leap, dun, 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 big thing. All I know is I'm falling to my death. That's all I know. And then that is the only way for the Trompe-l'oeil bridge, the invisible bridge, to appear. It was there all along. That's another secret. It was there all along, but he had to take the leap of faith to see it and to use it. Then he walks across, gets the Holy Grail, saves his father from certain death, and kills the Nazis, all the impossible stuff that he couldn't do if he didn't have the Holy Grail with him. Okay. And he needed to get that Holy Grail. Okay. All right. So fundamentally, we've got the Fool. We know where he's going. He's going on his journey. He wants to find enlightenment. He's got the Kabbalah on his chest. He's got his dog after him. He's on his way. Okay. So now he has to visit all the people that are going to prepare him And remember, he's still in the first part of this, the practical plane. So in the first part of his huge journey, the practical plane are the first 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Practical plane, then later on, he's going to be doing things that are more challenging and more, then eventually once he has all this information, practical and mental, he can go on to the spiritual stuff. But right for now, he's doing the basics. He's going to the market, okay? He's going to the market and getting the basics. So he has some breakfast, okay? So who's the first guy he meets? He has to go to the number 1 guy, the magician, okay? Yay, magician, okay? First we notice he has the lemniscate over his head, okay? The infinity symbol that you learn in mathematics, okay? Infinity, and it just means he can create anything he wants. He's the magician, he's the alchemist. So he is able to create anything, again, all possibilities open if you just follow the basics. Also around his waist, you see this thing that's a belt, and at first you say, oh, it's a belt, and you look more carefully, it's a snake eating itself, which is also a symbol of eternity. You know, infinite snake eating itself, how can it eat it? That will go on for eternity. So that's his belt around his waist. Another thing, I can create anything I feel like. Then we see what tools he has. He has earth, which is the pentacles, air, which is the sword, fire, which is the wand, and water, which is the cup cards. And of course, we all know those are the 4 suits of the tarot too. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so he has these, and these are the tools he can use for whatever. He is also, the way he's kind of holding his arms in a weird way, okay, like this. Okay, that's as above, so below. He is taking the power from the infinite and manifesting it on earth. So this is a manifestation pose, okay? And he's got all the different herbs and things around him that he can use. He has all kinds of great stuff that he can use to manifest and do his spells and whatever else it is he needs to do, okay? And just these are the minor arcana cards that show up throughout the rest of the tarot, apart from they show up other places too, but mostly in the minor arcana. The other 56 cards, apart from the major arcana. Okay. All right. Also, there's a great example of this in the movie, The Fifth Element. If you ever saw the movie with Bruce Willis, okay. Now, in The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis and his cohorts have to find the 4 stones: earth, air, fire, and water, and they're hidden inside the body of this person. Okay. Anyways, not to get too crazy, but they have to find the 4 stones. Then they have to find where to put the stones. And when they put the stones, they have to activate them. For earth, they have to throw dirt on it. For air, they have to blow on it. For water, they have to pour water on it. For fire, they have to light a match, and they screw up, they almost don't light the match. And the stones open up. Still, they don't know, oh my gosh, no, they still won't work. And the Fifth Element, which is this character that came down, an alien character that came from another planet, is the 5th element. She's the key. So they say, why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? And it turns out Bruce Willis has to tell her he loves her, because that's also required to manifest the whole thing, because you have to have that trust element, that love element, which you'll see later how the tarot does translate partly into, there is a love element to the whole meaning of the tarot. Okay, and love being the big powerful thing. And then finally, he tells her he loves her, and then she's able to manifest this impossible beam of light, goes up and kills the alien spaceship and saves the Earth. Okay, so pretty basic. 5th element tells a story about earth, air, fire, and water, and how to manifest. Okay, make sense? Yes? Nodding? Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, okay, cool. So that was just another simple one. Also Harry Potter. Okay, whenever I get to go back to what happens when I get one of these cards in a spread, if I get the magician in a spread, I love it because it means you're able to manifest, unless you have it in a negative position or crossing you. Okay, when it's negative, it's like you're not realizing how much you can create, or you're getting in your own way, or listen, you did this in the past and it's not happening now. You know, I would rather have just an outcome card. Yeah, okay, you're getting ready to manifest all this great stuff. or in the positive position. But it's often, especially when people are coming for advice, comes up negatively because they're like, I'm like, yeah, you're getting in your own way. Okay, let's start using the powers that you have. I always liken it to Harry Potter. I'm like, Harry always has his wand. Okay, almost always. He's got it in his jeans or whatever. He doesn't really fuss about that part. All he wants to know is, should I kill Voldemort? Should I turn this rabbit into a teacup? What should I do with it? It's just, you have the power. How are you going to use it? It's up to you. They say, oh, I can't. When people come in and say, I can't, it's like, you can. It's just, are you going to? It's just, you're in your own way. So I use the Harry Potter analogy because nobody ever worries that Harry has his power. It's just, what's he going to do with it? And that's you. You have the power. What are you going to do with it? Okay. You have your education. You have your health or whatever it is you have. What are you going to do? Okay. And here's another example of the magician, as I was showing you, making that weird arm gesture. These are the whirling dervishes of Turkey. Okay, and you've seen these, I'm sure, on TV in kind of crazy things. But that's what they're doing. They're in trance, but they're trying to invoke as above, so below. I want to manifest. Okay, and they twirl around, and go into a trance, and that's what they're trying to transcend. And that's why their arms are like that. Okay, as above, so below. Okay, cool. How are we doing? Okay, good. We're moving along. Okay. Excuse me. Now we're going into the mysterious one. Mystery. Now the fool has to go to the High Priestess. I need to know the unknown knowledge. I need some knowledge that nobody else knows. I need to know the intuitive stuff that I'm going to need to know to get through my journey. So help me, give me some knowledge. Okay. So she's the High Priestess. She's the number 2 card. Okay. She has this cool crown on. Okay. And it is very clear. It is very white. She is virginal. She's like the virginal queen. She's like Mary. I often equate her with Mary, Mother of God, because she brought the God energy onto the planet. You can do a quick one on that. Okay. And she's also dressed in blue, a lot like how the Christians portray Mary. Okay. That could have gone either way with these cards. And I get this beautiful clear orb on her head, and this orb is how she communicates with God or with the universe, and she transmits it. It's transmitted to her kind of like the Oracle of Delphi, a little different, but just out of her head. She's just communicating this information and translating it for us, like the Oracle of Delphi might, something like that. And she's just telling us what it is. That's why she has the orb on her head, and she has to be pure. She has to be unfettered so she can get that information clearly to us. Okay. In her hands, she has the Torah. Okay. And we're going to tell you about the B and the J that everybody always asks about. It's like, and it says, what do those symbols mean? I don't know why. They don't come up that clearly to me. I get clearly to me, but a lot of people ask about them. When I get the High Priestess in a reading, it can mean it can mean many things depending on where it falls in the spread. You guys know that. But if it's somebody in a relationship and I get that in the negative position, I'm like, what are you hiding? Are you hiding something, or is your partner hiding something? Or, what were you hiding in the past or whatever? It can be something that's hidden or behind the scenes in a practical day-to-day reading. If it's in the positive position or the negative position, also I'd say, hey, you need to meditate more, or thank God you're meditating through this difficult time. It's really helping you. So I use it often as a meditative card. So those are 2 quick ones that I use. It's like something that's hidden, or about meditation, depending on where, of course, it falls in the spread. Okay, she has pomegranates on this beautiful screen behind her. Okay, and the pomegranates are the fruit of the underworld. Ha 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 ha! Hades fruit. Okay, so why does she have them? Because she can also communicate with the underworld or know what's going on in the past, just behind her. She has this little veil behind her. We don't know what's behind there. She has to show us. Okay, the reason it's the fruit of the underworld is Persephone was tricked into becoming the wife of Hades and had to live in the underworld. Okay, the evil guy, right? but some of the other gods intervened and said, no, you can't keep her down there. She got tricked. She's able to leave. So Hades reluctantly says, okay, yeah, she can go. But before she left, he gave her a pomegranate. And that's the fruit of the underworld. So he knew that once she went up above, if she was tempted to eat that pomegranate, she would have to come back down and stay with him for 3 months out of the year. Boo. So of course, we all know, it's like Pandora, she has to taste the fruit. She tastes the fruit, has to stay in the underworld for 3 months out of the year. And that's why we have winter. So because no abundance, we have to wait for Persephone to come out from the underworld. So that's why we have pomegranates, okay? The subconscious fears, subconscious knowledge, things that we do, we don't realize why, okay, is the moon card here at her feet, okay? Maybe I wanna know, oh, how come I do this? Why do I do this? Common question for people when they come in. It's like, well, I'll tell you why. It's because your father was mean to you when you were 2 years old, you know, or something's like, no, but I'm 50 years old now. It's like, it doesn't matter, that's why. You have the subconscious reason. And she can tell you about that too. She knows everything. She knows all the stuff. So that's why the fool needs to go to her. He needs that kind of knowledge, okay? Obviously she has a cross and she has a Torah in her hands, and I'll go on to show you a little more specifically about that, okay? The B is for Boaz, which is negation, like negative, and this is in Hebrew. The J is for Jachin, meaning the beginning. So it's more beginning and the ending. To me, also they make them black and white or dark and light. To me, like yin and yang. So it's like the complementary of the beginning and the end, okay? And she's right in between there. She's keeping the balance. She knows what's real, she knows what's not. Okay, she's in the middle there, communicating all that stuff, balancing it all out. Make sense? Yes, okay, good. So I cut those out like for that. And then down here we have her holding the Torah. And there's different, it could be the Torah like in Judaism, which of course it's called the Torah with an H, or it could be an anagram for tarot. Duh, okay, because it looks, because we have a tarot. An interesting thing about the tarot, the spelling of it, T-A-R-O-T, the first T is the last T. Freak out, right? Okay. The first T is the last T. It really, a lot of circular images in the tarot. We were just talking about the Major Arcana and how it is cyclical. You go to the world and then you die and come back up. Cycles, okay? The first T is the last T, if you think about it, okay? I'm going to show you a little bit more about that. Okay, so she has that in her hand, her scroll, the mysteries of the tarot or the Torah, you know, and things, and she's keeping some of it hidden because maybe we can't understand it. Maybe she needs to translate it for us. So she's keeping it to herself. You need to inquire. Need to know basis, okay? Need to know basis. I've got this information. When you need to know, I can help you, but you got to come and talk to me, and I'll see if you need it, and when you need it, and how you need it. So, which is much more wise than you having all this information that you don't know how to handle right yet. Okay, make sense? Okay. Okay, now this is something from Mary K. Greer, and and I just love this. It's just the different anagrams of the tarot and how it can be put together into something that makes sense about what the tarot is. First, rota, which of course means the wheel or a cycle. Then tarot, like the book of the tarot or the book of Thoth. Okay, the same, some kind of part of that translation. There's a tarot book that's called the Book of Thoth that's all about the tarot. Again, back to the Egyptian references that people poo-poo so much when you're talking to tarot historians. They're like, no, it's Northern Italy, it's Northern Italy. It's like, yeah, I know, the paper is, you know, but the knowledge, you know, may have been, you know, a long time ago. Orat, to speak, okay, which is, I think this is pretty cool because this is like really to speak or teach, obviously, oratory, orat, and Torah, the Torah or the law, tarot or Torah, both the law, and Ator, which is a short for Hathor, the goddess of love. And remember, I was going to try to tie love into the tarot overall. And yeah, love definitely has a role in the tarot. It's like, so we can say the wheel of the tarot speaks the law of love. So that's kind of like the meaning of what the tarot might be interpreted to mean. So it's like, this is how you're going to get to where you need to get to the divine knowledge, love-based. Okay. Okay, cool. Again, I'm going to show you how this is Isis, who looks so much like the High Priestess in this, a little bit with her orb over her head. Again, going back to the Egyptian model. And here she is talking to Osiris, and she is communicating the information from the gods. And she's saying, oh, Osiris, listen, this is what I got. This is what I got for you. See that over there? You're supposed to do this, okay? You know, whatever. She's translating and helping her husband, you know, navigate through, and the feminine and the male, but she's helping her husband navigate through the darkness, or navigate. She might also be helping him navigate. I'm not sure what this cartouche is, but she could be helping him navigate through the underworld also. She did a lot of stuff for that husband. She put him back together after he got chopped up, all kinds of great stuff. But yeah, that's so very much, again, the symbol of, looks to me very much like the High Priestess's crown. Okay, all right, everybody on track? Know what we're talking about? Yes, good, okay, good. Okay, now let's move on to the Fool visiting Mom. Okay, the Empress. He needs to know the information about abundance. How am I going to be fed on the earth? How am I going to create abundance for myself? Abundance, very important. She has a wand, and it is more of like a passive kind of a wand. She's not like so aggressive as you'll see later with the Emperor. It's like, okay, I'm just like imbuing you with power. You know, she's just more gentle about it. She has a crown just like the High Priestess, but she is a married woman, okay? This is that she is married. It's more like a marital crown, okay? Like a diadem, you know, or, you know, when people wear a tiara once they're married, okay? And she has 12 stars, probably the zodiac, and she's married to the earth, married to the universe. So she is definitely a woman, a respected woman, a woman of, you know, a woman of respect, a woman that creates. There's always been a lot of controversy about whether she is pregnant here or not. And in some of the decks, that different drawings, she is definitely pregnant. They definitely make it clear to you that she is pregnant. This could be a maternity dress, but I don't see she's obviously pregnant. You know, she could be, let's put it that way. She's fertile, definitely. You would definitely say she was fertile. It's like those dresses they wore in the 50s that always said like impregnate me dress, you know, with all the real pinks and everything. It's like, you know, the very feminine dresses. Again, with the pomegranates, kind of cool, huh? She has pomegranates on her dress too, but these are more cut in half, okay? So yeah, she realizes, yeah, we're gonna die. These are the fruits of the underworld, but I'm chopping them up and we're all gonna be able to, you know, let's live now. It's more like a live now in the moment thing. And I'm gonna be able to replenish it. You know, even if these pomegranates die, even if everything dies, I'll be able to replenish it. Don't worry about it, we can eat them, okay? So more pomegranates all over the place, okay? Her heart-shaped shield, so pretty, is obviously, here's Venus, okay? And this is the symbol of Venus. Abundance everywhere, this vast wheat field in front of her, behind her, all over the place, water, just ever-flowing water, all this abundance all around her. This is what she creates. She's the earth mother, okay? May or may not be pregnant, you know, etc. So kind of, you know, this is, the red is for passion, that she's sitting on the passion. So she's definitely sexually active. She's definitely sexually active. Okay, and if you guys are big feminists, you'll recognize this chick. She is Gaia, the earth mother, okay? Even if you're not, you probably will. And you're dressed like her. Look at your clothes. That's really funny, okay? Exactly like her, the exact same shades of blue. So you knew we were gonna cover the Empress on that. So here she is, obviously, this is a nice representation, but that's the idea, is she's just all abundant and whatever. And, you know, if you want your marijuana, if you want whatever, if you want food, if you want to be healthy, this is your girl, is the Empress card. When she comes up in a reading, when the Empress comes up in a reading for me, and it's a love reading, I think that this is the guy thinks highly of this woman, that the woman, he thinks of her as a potential wife and mother. And so when I get this is, what does he think about me? And I get the Empress like, oh no. I said, he knows you're a contender. He knows you're a contender for his wife, in that you're serious. You're not a floozy. And that you could be a member of his family, or he wants to take you home to mother. Okay. Something like that. So I will definitely use that. If a woman has that in her negative position, it's usually, when women get broken up with, and they come in, this card's often crossing them. I said, ooh, you lost your mojo. You lost your mojo for now. You got to get your power back. You got to get your feminine confidence back. You have to, be yourself again. But it's a great card. It's hard to, unless it's in the negative position, you definitely want to have the Empress in your life. You don't want this to come up in a negative position in the spread, or the negative. I could get it for maybe a mother interfering, in a negative position or something like that. It's like, what's your mother telling you? It's like, she's not on the right page with you, try to do your own thing. Your mother's giving you bad advice, which loving advice, but bad advice. That also is a lot of times will come up when the Empress comes up. But it's definitely a maternal card. If somebody's going to be pregnant, obviously this would be a pregnancy card, and they'd say, when am I going to get pregnant? I get this card. It's like, it's a good timing card for me too, if it shows up, obviously. You got mother coming in. You got your mother energy coming in. Okay. And this is a good example, like Mario Lopez and his wife. I follow him on Instagram. I don't know how I ended up, but they always seem to have like such a nice family. And this is Mario Lopez's wife, as definitely the Empress. And they have other children, and here they are at the Boys and Girls Club. This is the Empress. This is his valued partner. Okay, his valued female, and he's the valued male. So this is a good example of, in modern day, what an Empress would be. People call their girlfriends now queens. Okay, that's my queen. So it's like, no, I'm the girlfriend I'm serious about, right? It's like the same thing. They could call her Empress. That's my Empress. Yeah, okay. So just a little quick example on that one. Okay, any questions about the Empress? No, okay. Now we're going to, and we are moving along on time. Okay, great. So make sure, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them. Okay, because I talk fast. Let me make sure I'm saying everything I want to say. Crown, pillars, pomegranates, heart, waterfall. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, now we've got the Emperor. He is very much, I love the Emperor because it's my life card. I'm a 4. And it's me. I'm supposed to, I guess, get my business life in order, have an orderly life. That's part of my life. That's my life's path. So I'm pretty orderly, but not a long way to go too. I get the 4 here. It's always this is numerologically, I don't know why I always see the 4 here. It just seems, it's more important numerologically than maybe some of the other cards. Here's the Emperor. Of course, the Empress is Venus. And we see that the Emperor has 4 ram's heads here. Rams is Aries, which is associated with Mars. Okay, so Mars and Venus. He has a more strict looking staff in his hand. This is more like, this is the law. These are the rules, very strict. Okay, his 2 feet are on the ground. Okay, he has an orb. I have the power to tell you what to do. I'm the Emperor. The mountains behind him are very rigid. They seem to like kind of close in, not like the Fool. The Fool has got that vast wasteland behind him. You don't know what's going to happen. With this guy, you're not going past these mountains. Okay, you really got to make a big effort to get over those mountains. This is my land. These are my 4 walls in a way. Okay. What else about him? He has red on, but this is more red, like when they tell women that when you want to do power, you want to dress for a power meeting and you want to be powerful, they say dress in red. And sometimes you'll see these press conferences and all the women are in red, and it cracks me up. It's like somebody read Dress for Success, you know, and they're all in red, and it's, or purple actually is a power color too, not so much maybe lavender, but purple. But he's wearing red because it's a power color. I'm in charge, sit down, shut up. It's a root chakra. It's the root chakra, which is red, our base chakra. So he's all about the earth. He's all about being grounded. He's all about the rules. Don't mess with me, okay? I love the 4. It's because it's 4, to reiterate more about why, yeah. And here's the book. I was like, yeah, Men Are From Mars, a book that helps us. I haven't read it, but it's supposed to help us to communicate with one another, male and female, and the big differences that are between us, and how the big conflicts of how it's hard to communicate with each other, because we're just functioning on different levels, different planets. Okay, and just as it's shown in the tarot, we're focusing on different planets. Very much the Emperor, really, one of the meanings of the card is box. It's a box. It's 4 walls. Nothing, you don't deviate, no deviation. If I get it in a spread in the negative position, you have too many rules. Especially, I get it a lot with women too, and men too. That's not fair at all. I get it with men too. You have too many rules about meeting a new guy. It's like, how are you going to let anybody get past these very rigid rules? You know, oh, you have to make this much money, or you have to look like this, or you have to be from here. You got a lot of you're going to limit all your possibilities with this. It's a positive card if you're going to get a promotion. Okay, yeah, definitely, you're going to get that promotion with the Emperor card. You're probably going to get some more responsibility too, because you're going to, you know, be more in charge. You're going to be making the rules rather than, you know, rather than just obeying them. If I get the Emperor in the negative position about a job, I'll say, oh, there are too many rules. They're being stupid. They're not thinking outside the box. But it can, depending on where it falls in the spread, it's good rules, you need them. Bad rules, too many rules, whatever, you don't need them. Or you were influenced badly by the rules or whatever. There's no flexibility. In the past, when there was a big housing boom, I swear I used to use the Emperor as a house card. It just meant house, because everyone was always asking about houses. Am I going to close on my house? Am I going to get a house? We're looking for a house. And so for a while, the Emperor card just meant house. So, you know, the cards change meaning sometimes for me, depending on what's going on astrologically or just in the world. They take on different meanings. And it's because a house is usually 4 walls, 4 things. It's your little castle and 4 walls. Okay, so that's why I really, you know, it's a great card. Okay, and all these cards there are no negative cards, don't get me wrong, but some are more challenging than others. And these all have really good positive aspects. Okay, ones that we're looking at today. To go on a little more about 4, because I don't know, I just really love 4 in the Emperor. It's so 4. And 4 this is the 4 of Pentacles, and it's a minor arcana card, but I'm going to bring it into this because it's an analogy I make when I'm doing readings sometimes. Somebody gets the Emperor and they have in a negative position, they've got too many rules. And I'll say, listen, the Emperor card, he has 4 walls made of bricks or stone. If an earthquake comes, that castle has to fall down. It doesn't have a choice, okay? It's a limited use sometimes. In the 4 of Pentacles, this guy, here he is. I mean, he has his coins around him or whatever, but somebody could come by and knock it over, you know, or whatever. And, you know, he probably could pick it up, but, you know, it's like he's sensibly securing these for the most part. And I always say that he has a castle, but it's made of Jello. Okay, and I've actually found a Jello house. Did you know you could get Jello play? I didn't know that. You can build things with Jello. I got to get that. Now in lockdown, got all the time to do it. Okay, that house is made of Jello, and if an earthquake comes, that castle will wobble, but the foundation will stay strong, like a strong marriage. Okay, a strong marriage would be like that. It's like, okay, yeah, we can weather our hard times, and we're, you know, maybe I can be flexible on this, maybe I can't be flexible on this, but we're not gonna, the whole place isn't gonna explode. We're gonna be pretty good, okay? It's like, but because we're willing to be more flexible. So I like, this is the more healthy aspect of when you're seeing the Emperor card in a negative position or being too restrictive. This is somebody that's a lot more flexible, okay? Or something, a situation that's more flexible, but it won't, or maybe you're not going to get your raise, but it's going to be enough. You know, it's that kind of a, it's an enough card. It's a flexible, I'm okay card. I'm fundamentally okay. Okay. And actually, well, we're right. Any questions? No? Okay.
I'm sorry. I just want to confirm what you said about the Emperor card. Two things. I missed the part on Mars, and then also, can it still to this day represent a house, or was that just?
Sure, that's just me, and it's something that I said yeah, of course, yeah. It was my personal interpretation because everybody a few years was going through a lot of buying houses, and it kept coming up, and I was like, oh, it's the house card. It just, you know, sometimes the cards change their meanings as we need them, I find. So, you know, sometimes, I don't know, I can't think of another example offhand, but I just automatically start switching their meanings when different things are happening in the world. I mean, obviously all my readings now are, you're trapped, you're, you know, you're trapped. No, like, well, I don't think that means in general, I think it means just for now, you know? So it's like, yeah, don't take this so seriously because I think it's just because we're in lockdown, you know? So you have to kind of talk to your cards, in my opinion. They live and change and breathe just like we do when we're using them. And Mars, okay, where I got the Mars from were the ram's heads. See the ram's heads on his throne, he has 4. That represents Aries, and Aries is associated with Mars. So that's,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the planet that is associated with that card for sure. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, shoot.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to just ask what the significance was of what he's holding in his hands.
Oh. Well, the staff is, to me, like, this is the law. Okay, and the orb is an orb of power. Like, you know how you see Queen Elizabeth in her formal portraits holding an orb? That means the power. I have power over the world. Okay, and the Pope, look more of the Pope. He has one in his hand. And it's an orb with a cross on top. I'm king of the Christian world, of the Catholic world.
Okay.
Okay, it's like, I'm holding the world in my hand.
Gotcha.
Okay. In him, it's his empire. It's not the world. It's not the universe. It's his neighborhood. Okay. his little kingdom or whatever he has going on. Okay. Or China. Okay. Or whatever. If he's an emperor, maybe it's China. But you know, wherever he's king of. And then this staff is just the law to me. It's like, no, I have the power. It's more like, you know, a stamper.
Okay.
I'll hit you with it if you don't obey, is the implication.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, makes sense? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Any other questions if you think? Okay, then. Okay, now.
Sorry. Oh, I'll save it.
It's a Russell? Okay, great. I love it. Zoom, it's so cool. It's the second time I've used it. So whenever anybody talks, the person gets highlighted. And I'm like, oh, I can see who's talking. So I'm liking it. It works. Zoom works. Okay. To wrap up the Emperor and the Empress, mucho muda when they come up together. Okay, it's hard to get them to come up together out of 78 cards when you're doing a spread. But when I get that combination, especially when they're right together, I'm like, you have to marry this guy or you have to take this job because you can make as much money, the possibility for making as much money as you like is there. I just love this combination. Sometimes they come up very close to one another in a spread. And I'm like, you're missing something where you need to get these guys closer together. Because obviously the feminine and the masculine power, if they're really working together, you can create anything. You know, a male and female, the yin and yang symbol, you know, through the roof. Okay. It's like, you know, so I always say when I get this, it's like, wow, you guys can make a lot of money together. You know, I don't know how, doesn't necessarily show you how, but it's like, no, you can create something that really is bigger than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're a actress and I'm a director. Okay. I don't know how to direct. You don't know how to act. We can make a movie and make a lot of money. something like that. Okay, it's like I can't, you know what I mean? It's bigger than I can act and make $1 million. I mean, I can make our own movie and make $10 million. Make sense? Yeah. So it's bigger than the sum of its parts when they come up together. I just love that combination together, because it's really hard if you just, I don't know what the odds are. Super low. 78 cards and them coming up within 10 cards next to each other. Usually 10. So that's just a little wrap up of how the Empress and the Emperor work together. And you see she's more accepting. There's not a lot of boundaries around her. She has the big field behind her. He has the mountains. You know, that's great. Hey, let's use this great. Yeah, but honey, we can't just buy 1 million acres, but I want 1 million acres. How about if we buy 500,000, a little more practical, you know, and we work together. Okay, let's put a limit on our budget. I mean, when they both work together, wow, you know, then that can really, if it's really working together, it can create whatever you want to create. Okay, all right, okay, well, we'll have 500, I'll agree to that. Okay, now we can rent it out, and then later on we'll buy 1 million, you know? So it's just the practicality versus the expansiveness. A woman can certainly act as the emperor, but for sure, but those energies have to work together. Maybe the guy is the visionary. Oh, I want to have a movie and I want to spend $10 million. Honey, we only have $5 million. Okay, so, oh, okay, all right, well, all right, that'll work. I'll make that work because we don't want to go bankrupt, you know, that kind of thing. I keep using movie analogies. I don't know why, but but it's like, it's easy to think in those terms, I guess. Or I want to buy a ranch and we want 1 million acres. It's like, but honey, we don't need that much. We don't have that many horses, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question that goes back to the magician.
Okay.
You mentioned something about the magician being in a negative position, and for some reason I'm sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. And so for some reason I interpreted what you said as like, just do something. Like if you're getting in your own way, is it a matter of just do something?
It could be just do something. It also could be that you're disempowered, that you don't think you can do anything. I don't have my magic wand. I don't think I can. Or it could be negative if that card's associated with a person, if you've got a person next to it or associated with it. It's like, no, you've got your boss is disempowering you. You need a new job, or you got to tell them that you want to do this. Okay, you want to have your power. When you're too disempowered, you can fix it, but you have to you have to go in there and knock on the door with your boss and say, I want to do this project. You know, do what you can. You're disempowering yourself. It can be used where somebody's manipulating you too. They're using their power over you. Mm-hmm. It's about power and control. Okay. And you know, it's when it's in the positive position, it's awesome. It's like, I've got everything under control. Now I can just do what I want. Oh, I was waiting to get my vacation. Oh, you can't do it now, but you're going to have all the power in April to do it. You know, it's like, if it's in the net, no, you can't do it. If it's a crossing card, it's like, no, forget about it. Don't worry about it. Wait for a few months or whatever. You know, that kind of a energy. It's a empowerment. It's also manifestation.
Uh-huh. Do the numbers on cards, can they mean some sort of timeline, or is there a certain way to figure out a timeline for something?
Well, I'll tell you how I do my timeline if you want to. Everybody does it differently, as far as I know. I've never seen people do it the same. Okay, say you ask me, when am I going to get a raise? And I shuffle the cards and I get a 2. And the number, whatever card it is, has a 2 on it, whether it's major or minor. That's the way I do it. If I don't get a number at all, it's like, I don't think you're going to get a raise. Let's find out what's going on. It's like, sorry, let me see what else is going on here, how we can fix this. Say I get a 2. Then underneath it, I pull days, 1 card for day, 1 card for weeks, 1 card for months, and see how that plays out. If I don't get anything significant in days, or it looks like, oh, you're happy in days, no, not 2 days. If I look in 2 weeks and I'm like, you're still like wondering about it, the card means I'm not sure or something. The indicator of the card means I'm not sure or something. No, it's not. Then I pull 2 months and still no raise. Oh my goodness. I said, well, it looks like you're still sad about this in 2 months. And then I put 2 years, then I'll do years, and I'll get, well, you definitely have a raise by 2 years. And if they say that's too short, so well, you have to do something about that then. Okay, because it's not the way it's set up now is not going to happen. That's how I do it. Numbers, days, weeks, months, and open to using your own intuition. The next 3 cards. This looks stupid, or maybe I get the Ace of Wands in 2 days. Like, oh, you're getting a raise in 2 days. Oh, how funny! I'm up for a review in 2 days. So it's like that's you just have to use your intuition after getting the number. If you don't get a number, look at the number and then say, why aren't you? Then I might pick up and say, what's the problem? It's like, oh, you're not working very hard. I get the lazy card here. Well, yeah, maybe I'm not working very hard.
Thank you.
It's like, yeah, maybe I should work a little harder to get a raise. Yeah.
Did you say you usually pull 3 cards? Like if you are looking at days, you pull 3 cards?
Okay, the first card, 1 card. And then I pull 1 for the number, if there is a number. Then 3 cards under it, days, weeks, months,
okay.
Years, if you don't get it.
Got it, thank you.
When am I gonna get pregnant? Nothing. Okay, gotta go to the doctor. When am I going to get pregnant? Okay, and I do that in cycles. I say, are you done with your cycle this month? No, I'm done this month. I'll start 1 next month. 6 cycles. If there's no number, okay, let's find out what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just that's the way I do it. Other people do it, but I find that pretty convenient. And it shows obstacles quickly. It's like if there's nothing, there's nothing. It's like, okay, now wait a minute, we're barking up the wrong tree here. And what else? Yeah, that's pretty much how I do time. I struggled with it for a while. And some people will say, am I going to be pregnant in 6 months? And I'll ask yes, just a yes or no. And then just say, get the Empress card. Absolutely, 6 months, you're done. You're definitely going to be a mom within 6 months. Or something negative. Heartbreak card, no, doesn't look like it. Let's see what you have to do about it. I always like to go to the positive or the solution. I don't like to I don't like it to be fatalistic. It's like, okay, if you really want to be pregnant, you got to go for fertility treatments or whatever, or, whatever. How does your husband feel about it? Well, he doesn't want a baby. So maybe you want to give him a little time. There could be many things. It's like, who's this guy? It's like, how does your husband feel? You can start using your own intuition about that. That's just with practice, I guess. How you see the cards. And they start talking to you personally, if you ask me. They're like, and then I'll give you a trick for when you're stuck or whatever. I call in the angels, which if you've had readings with me, I may or may not have asked Michael. It's like, I'm looking at the cards. I'm like, what the heck? What? Michael, what's going on here? Could you please help me? And then I pull a card and then I go, duh, I'm looking at it the wrong way. I'm looking at that cloud upside down. I'm looking at that's not a bunny, that's a fish. I'm looking at that cloud formation the wrong way. It's like, I see. Okay. Sometimes you just get cluttered. Especially when you're reading a lot, you can get cluttered at the end of the day. I'm like going, bleh. So. Any other questions? Those were good questions. No, that's it.
I think so.
Yeah, wow, I did it quicker than I thought. What time is it? 50. Oh, not too bad though. Not too under with questions. So maybe should I keep it to 5 cards next time, or should I do more? 5? Was that good?
5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah, I can handle a few more.
We could handle more? Okay, next time I'll prepare like maybe 7 and do rapid fire.
Are you going to do this every week?
I was thinking of it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're not doing anything else.
True. I know.
My readings are like in half, which is like, and it's really kind of a blessing because it's been, and I have a record of this if you want, I'll send it to you after when they compile it. It's kind of a blessing because usually I hit the ground running in the morning. I'm like, okay, I got an 11 o'clock, I have a 12 o'clock, I have a party at 5, and I just don't have time to do, like put the graphics together and make sure I'm getting all the little symbols in and stuff. So, you know what I mean? So it's because I do have to take notes and put it in the front of my mind too. So it takes a little time for me to put it together. And before it's like, unless I have like a week or to sit and think about it, oh well, and schedule it and advertise it. So, and now I do, so it's kind of nice. And then I'll have it at the end, you know, I'll have these classes.
Right.
And have, so, but you found it helpful, it made sense to you and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's most important. Okay. So yeah, maybe we'll do from the Hierophant to, I'll go and see who's next for the, let's see, we did 5. Let's do 6 next time and see how it goes. Because they'll get more, well, no, they won't, they'll get really way more complicated at the end. But for now, maybe I'll do 6 next time.
Are you planning on doing the minor arcana?
I don't know. What do you think? They're pretty simple. I can. Let's see. Well, we got plenty of time to think about it because we got to get through the major. There's 5 of them. There's 22 of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could do it. It's just, but they're pretty, you know, there's little, I could do, well, I don't want to do 50. I don't really want to do 56 of them. There's ways you can figure out from the numbers and the suits how, you know, pretty much what they mean. So I might think about how to express that.
I see, just one broad.
Yeah, more broad. Say all the 1s in the different suits, all the 2s, you know, because there's 10, and then the court cards. I think I told in 101. I think I told you how I do court cards, but you know, a lot of people get confused on the courts because so many people in your life, and people are like, it's got to be this person. It's got to be this person, and you got to fight them. You know, and it's like, no, they have black hair. I promise you. And it's like, what do they do for a living is another thing you can find out if that's the right person. It's like, no, this guy's an architect. No, he's not the king of cups. Sorry. It's just not what he does. Not his side of his brain. You know, it's like little things like that you can, you know, trick them into finding the right person. And sometimes they walk out of the reading not knowing who it is, which I'm like, fine. I said, I can't tell you that it's your father when it's not, you know. And they're like, well, I said, think about it. And then they go, you know, that was my brother who I'm in a lawsuit with, you know, and they think about it afterwards, you know, so. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. There's all kinds of little tricks you can use. So you get everything in order. Okay, ladies, I think we're done.
Thanks.
All righty, thank you.
Singapore didn't show up. I'm going to have to send it to him when it compiles. So I didn't think he says, I'm staying up. I said, are you sure? He goes, yes, I'm staying up. All right, Kerr. So I didn't.
Can't blame him.
Yeah,
Right.
No, neither. I was like, I'll say the date. Don't worry about it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thank
you.
Bye. Have fun. Enjoy your lockdown.
You too.